Hello everybody, once again welcome to my channel. In this video I will share part 3 of theory of consumer behavior, indifference curve and budget line approach. Part 1 and part 2 of this chapter have already been uploaded. Let us start. Let a consumer consumes 1 unit of food with 12 units of clothing. So we get a point A. Here we measure food on the horizontal axis and food clothing on the vertical axis. Now when the consumer consumes 2 units of food with 6 units of clothing, we get B. Again, 3 units of food, 4 units of clothing gives us point C, and 4 units of food with 3 units of clothing gives us D. So A, B, C, D gives the consumer same level of satisfaction. That is equal amount of satisfaction. Now, when we join these 4 points A, B, C, D, we get a smooth curve which is known as indifference curve. So indifference curve refers to a schedule that shows various combinations of two goods which give equal amount of satisfaction to the consumer. That is, the combinations of goods are here are A, B, C, D, which give equal amount of satisfaction to the consumer. That is known as indifference curve. Now, indifference map is a group or set of indifference curves, each one of which represents a given level of satisfaction. So when we plot many indifference curves, there is more than one indifference curve, or we can say a set of indifference curves that indicate different levels of satisfaction is known as indifference map. IC1 represents a certain level of satisfaction, but IC2 represents another level of satisfaction. IC3 another level of satisfaction. So when we plot a set of indifference curves, we get indifference map. Now we come to marginal rate of substitution. Initially, the consumer is consuming 1 unit of food with 12 units of clothing, but when the consumer consumes an additional unit of food, the consumer consumes only 6 units of clothing. So how much does the consumer need to sacrifice? Here it needs to sacrifice 6 units of clothing in order to get an additional unit of food. So how do we measure marginal rate of substitution? Del y. So del y is 12 minus 6 is 6 divided by del x, del y by del x. So del x is 2 minus 1 is 1. So 6 by 1 is 6. Again, when the consumer wants another additional unit of food, that is 3, he consumes only 4 units of cloth. That is, he sacrifices only 2 units of clothing. So del y is 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 divided by del x is 3 minus 2 is 1. So 2 by 1 is 2. So how do we measure marginal rate of substitution? It is given by del y by del x. So this is del y. So 6 minus 4 is 6. Sorry, 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 divided by 3 minus 2 is 1. Now here, how do we find marginal rate of substitution? 4 minus 3 is 1. So 1 by 4 minus 3 is again 1. So 1 by 1 is 1. So del y by del x gives us marginal rate of substitution. But here we can see that marginal rate of substitution is decreasing, because as the consumer consumes more and more units of food, the consumer's willingness to give up clothes decreases. See, initially the consumer gives 6 units of clothes. Then he gives only 2 units of clothing, and then only 1 unit of clothes. So the consumer is willing to substitute less one good for another. So marginal rate of substitution is the rate at which the consumer is willing to substitute one good for another without changing the level of satisfaction. That is, the MRS decreases. So this is what I've written. The consumer is willing to give up 6 units of clothes to get extra unit of food. Here we get 6. So MRS is initially 6 by 1. That is del y is 6. 12 minus 6 is 6. And how do we get this one? 2 minus 1 is 1. And again here MRS is 2. That is 6 minus 4 is 2 del y. And del x is 3 minus 2 is 1. And again here del y is 4 minus 3 is 1. And del x is 4 minus 3 is 1. So del y by del x is 1. That is MRS xy is initially 6, then 2, then 1. So it is decreasing. So as the consumer gets more food, he wants to give up less units of cloth by additional unit of food. That is, initially he was sacrificing 6 units of cloth, then 2 units of cloth, then 1. So MRS starts decreasing. And we can say slope of indifference curve is marginal rate of substitution. We measure del y by del x as marginal rate of substitution. So slope of indifference curve is MRS. Now there are some assumptions of indifference curve. First is rationality. The consumer wants to achieve highest possible indifference curve so as to maximize his total satisfaction. The consumer is a rational consumer. Ordinal utility. Utility is only ordinally measurable rather than measured in quantitative terms. So that is, utility cannot be measured in quantitative terms. Next is non-satiety. That is, the consumer is not oversupplied with goods. He has not reached point of saturation. A consumer always prefers a larger amount of goods. Now, transitivity of choice. Suppose there are three goods A, B, and C. So A, B, and C. Suppose he prefers A to B, that is ice cream to cake, and B to C, that is cake to chocolates. Then definitely he will prefer ice cream to chocolates, that is he will prefer A to C with transitivity of choice. We have studied transitivity in mathematics as well. Diminishing MRS. I've already explained you what is diminishing MRS. So that is, indifference curve analysis is based on the assumption of diminishing MRS, that is MRS decreases. Now we come to properties of indifference curve. An indifference curve slopes downward from left to right. It is negatively sloped. If the consumer consumes more of one good, he must consume less of the other so that he gets same level of satisfaction from different combination. That is, here, if one good has to increase, the other goods consumption has to decrease, then only they will be inversely related. That is, the goods consumption should be inversely related. And we know that they are inversely related. That's why indifference curve is sloping downward, or it is negatively sloped. Higher indifference curves yield higher satisfaction. Indifference curve which lies to the right and above to the another indifference curve is a higher level of satisfaction. That is, here IC3 gives the maximum satisfaction, that is highest satisfaction. IC2 higher, that is less than IC3, and IC1 is the lowest level of satisfaction. So higher indifference curve yields higher satisfaction. And indifference curve is convex to the origin. Now convexity implies the curve goes inwards to the origin. So we have seen how does the indifference curve look like. That is, it goes inwards to the origin. Now slope decreases as we move down the indifference curve. We have seen that the MRS decreases as we move down the indifference curve. Now we know when slope falls, curve will be convex. That is, since we know the slope is decreasing, definitely the curve is convex to the origin. Because we know slope, that is MRS, decreases. Two indifference curves never intersect each other. Here we see that there are two indifference curves, IC1 and IC2, they intersect each other at point A. Now we see that A and C lie on the indifference curve IC2, that is, they give same level of satisfaction, A equals to C. Again, A and B lie on the indifference curve IC1, that is, they give A and B gives the same level of satisfaction since they lie on IC1. But with transitivity, we can say C equals to B, but is it possible? Because C lies on a higher indifference curve IC2. So C will give more satisfaction. So C equals to B is not possible. That's why we can say two indifference curves can never intersect each other. Now we come to budget line. Suppose income is given. Income is suppose 200. Prices of goods X and Y are given. Suppose clothing is 40, and that is price of clothing is 40 and price of food is 20. Now we get various combinations, that is the various combinations of two goods which can be bought with a given money income and with given prices. That is known as budget line. That is, if we plot it, a budget line shows various combinations of two goods which can be purchased with a given budget and given prices of the two commodities. So we get different combinations. So suppose here 5 units of clothing and 0 units of food. We get one combination here. Again 4 units of clothing and 2 units of food gives another combination. So if we plot these combinations, we get budget line. So here we measure good X, that is clothing, on the X-axis, and Y, that is food, on the Y-axis. Here, this is the maximum point where only clothing is consumed as 0 amount of food is consumed. And here 10 units of food is consumed and 0 units of clothing is consumed. Now, the budget line equation is Px into X plus Py into Y equals to M. So Px and Py are the prices of good X and Y, and X and Y are the quantities of X and Y consumed, and M is the money income. Now, when the horizontal intercept is M by Px, what does it mean? It means units of food consumed is 0. That is good. The consumer spends his entire income on good X. So y is 0. We put here y 0 in the equation or the budget line equation. So px into x plus 0 equals to m. So x equals to m by px. This is the horizontal intercept. Now here, how do we get m by py, vertical intercept? Here the consumer spends entire income on good y, on good y. So px into x is 0. Since x is 0 here, so py into y equals to m. So y equals to m by py, which is a vertical intercept. And these are the combinations which give both units of food and clothing consumption. Now, if we consider a point outside the budget line, we see that the consumer cannot afford the point H because it is outside the budget line. Here, point K is within the budget line, it is affordable, but here the consumer sees that it is an inferior set of bundles because it gives less amount of food units of food and clothing. So this is not affordable, this is affordable, but it is an inferior bundle set. Now this is a budget line equation. Now we take Px into X on the right hand side and divide by Py on all the sides. So we take Px into X here, so minus Px into X, divide by Py, so M by Py minus Px divided by Py into X. So this is simply simple mathematics. Now we do the differentiation. So del y by del x. Now m by py is constant. Since we know these are given, they are assumed to be given. So this becomes 0. Minus px by py. Del x into del x is 1. So we get del y by del x equals to minus px by py. Now budget line is a negatively sloped straight line because the slope is negative, and px by py is constant. That's why it is a straight line. Slope is equal to the price ratios of two commodities. The slope is px by py. So this is the slope price ratios of two commodities. As I've already said, you horizontal intercept implies bundle that the consumer can buy if he spends his entire money income on good X. I will show you. I've already said you, let me show you again. So horizontal intercept means the consumer spends his entire income on good X. And here M by Py means the consumer spends his entire income on good Y. I'm going back to the slide. So I said you what is horizontal intercept, what is vertical intercept. Now we come to consumer's equilibrium. So here we have a budget line BA and we have three indifference curves, IC1, IC2, IC3. We measure commodity X on the horizontal axis and commodity Y on the vertical axis. So here we see that the indifference curve is tangent to the budget line at point E, which is consumer's equilibrium, where budget line is tangent to IC2. But here we see that H lies on a higher IC3, but it is outside the budget line, which is not possible. But F and G rely on the same budget line, but we see F and G rely on IC1, that is lower IC. So the consumer will always prefer point E where he gets higher IC and it is on the budget line. So you should explain this also. H is outside the budget line and F and G are affordable, but it lies on a lower IC. So the consumer's equilibrium point is E, where the budget line is tangent to indifference curve. And at this point, slope of indifference curve is equal to slope of budget line. What is slope of indifference curve? MRS, as I've already explained you. Slope of budget line is price ratio. So at this point, consumer's equilibrium MRS is equal to price ratio. Now we see shifts in budget line. Here, the black color line is the initial budget line. Now, if there's an increase in income, the budget line shifts parallelly outward or rightward. Because if the income increases, the consumer spends his income on both X and Y. See here, initially the consumer was spending till here, X. Now he consumes this much amount, more of X. He initially was consuming this much of Y. Now he consumes this much more of Y. So when income increases, the consumer spends on both X and Y. And when income decreases, the budget line shifts parallelly leftward. That is, there's a downward shift. Initially, the consumer was consuming here. He shifts to this point. He consumes less of X and again less of Y. That is, he moves downward. Now we see what happens when price of X falls and rises. When price of X falls, good consumption of Y remains constant and he will increase the consumption of X. So the budget line becomes flatter. It becomes BL prime. And the consumption of good X increases to OL prime. And when price of X rises, consumption of X falls to OL double prime, and the budget line becomes steeper to BL double prime. This is BL double prime. And what happens when there's a change in price of Y? Price of Y falls, given consumption of good X remaining constant. Budget line is LB prime. LB prime. That is when price of Y falls, the consumer increases the consumption of Y OB to OB prime. And when the price of Y rises, budget line is LB double prime. That is the consumption of Y falls to OB double prime from OB. So this is how budget line changes. This is for three cases: changes in income, change in price of X, and change in price of Y. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, do subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon. Bye bye. Have a great time.